Hey everybody, it's Shaman and Chris, probably the two most unlikely people to ever be doing this in the world, here from Harper Therapy, coming at you from the man cave again, which is really, again, just, our office and not really a man cave. We don't have any manly cool things around here, unfortunately, but...
I don't know. I think we're kind of manly here.
But we're here today to talk a little bit about men and couples therapy, right?
Right.
So everything we're talking about today is in the confines of a relationship. And I'm here just because I'm the village idiot on the team, and Chris is our resident expert for all things men. So I'm going to ask him a couple questions, and we're going to let him address it, and we'll see where it goes from there, right? So the first thing we want to talk about is there a stigma with men coming to couples therapy or therapy for their relationship?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about this a little bit before, and how it's almost rare that a man will call, and say,
Right.
Hey, I'm having some relationship issues. Can I come in and see you?
It's like dire, almost end of everything, right?
It's almost always the spouse, and it's almost always, I don't want to say it's too late by the time they call,
Right.
because it's not necessarily ever too late, okay? But it's just an interesting fact that men rarely make the call. And part of that is really, really concerning, to me, because men are fighters and fixers.
Right, but
Okay,
they
so
screw this
why
one
would-
up so bad, right?
Why would you
Yeah.
avoid going to therapy, which could potentially help you fix your relationship?
And to be honest in that, the earlier you come, the better, right?
The earlier, the earlier, the less complicated the trouble.
Right, because that just compounds and gets more complex and more troublesome, as it goes, the longer it kind of festers and...
Absolutely, but here, there's another dynamic there that, to be quite honest, some counselors, are very simply better at dealing with men's issues than others.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
And that's just, some are just better equipped, and maybe there's a better understanding, maybe there are different fundamentals, but we were even just talking about the dynamic with men, which tends to work better from a problem-solving perspective.
Right. Like you said a minute ago, guys are fixers, guys are like solution, I'm just going to work through this and make it go away, right?
Right.
And it's... But it's so weird that at the same vein, we're like the last ones to call.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unfortunate. So then that kind of leads me to my next question then. If I were to call, right, my relationship's in trouble, I call, I want to come into therapy, or my wife calls and she drags me into therapy, am I turning in my man card when I do that? am I no longer a man by doing that?
Because you had to pull a man card. Okay. It's interesting, but I mean, if you... Okay, self-disclosure. I like loud music. I like fast cars.
Sure.
I like hot, spicy food. I like to drink beer.
You like all those things men.
You're
a manly man.
That has nothing to do, with my man card. Okay?
Right.
Those are just a series of interests and a series of kind of hobbies,
right.
and a series of likes,
Right.
And they can vary, But when you look at the true essence of that man card, women don't want you to give up the man card.
Right.
It's what distinguishes us. It's what makes us different. It's not necessarily what defines us.
Right.
But those differences are important. And most women not only respect that man card, but they're attracted to it. They appreciate it.
Right.
And no, you don't have to give up your man card. As a matter of fact, it's almost a good way to get another stamp on your man card, because it's now renewed and it's showing, guess what? I got to rebalance that leadership,
right.
And that sensitivity.
So you're saying if you're that out front ahead of it, right? If you're that willing to say, look, we've got something going on here and I'm willing to go do this to address it and help fix it and resolve issues, that's going to ultimately be better.
Yeah, and I'm going to argue, that looking to fix your relationship, looking to take inventory of yourself, looking to make some of those adjustments,
right.
Providing that leadership, I think that makes you more of a man.
I agree totally. And we were talking about this a few minutes ago before we came on live, but you had mentioned a little bit ago about, I'm going to screw this up, about the differences. There's definite differences between men and women in therapy particularly.
Absolutely.
And how you address men in therapy and how you work with men in therapy. And it's important for both men and women to understand that kind of as they're in couples therapy, right?
It's very important, okay? And it's also an important part of the relationship dynamic as a whole,
right?
Okay? And to acknowledge it, okay, it's not only super important, okay, but it's necessary to be effective in therapy.
Right. So therapy for the woman in the relationship doesn't necessarily look like therapy for the man, potentially?
Well, here's what I would tell you. It's not gender specific,
right.
Okay? And a man can work very effectively with a woman, just like a woman can work very effectively with a man.
Sure.
It's having a true feel and understanding of those dynamics,
right.
and appreciating them, okay? And appealing to either person's sense of communication, the way they communicate,
right.
Okay? And kind of working with that rather than a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
Okay? And to some regard, okay, a lot of techniques in therapy, okay, are targeted, okay, at the perfect situation where there is no ego, where biases have been reduced,
right.
Okay, and we're willing to express, I feel, and lay everything out on the table. Guess what? It takes a long time to
right.
get there, but it's also not always necessary to make the change and improvements that you need to make.
Okay. So I guess that kind of takes me to, like, if you think you can need this, you use this in your relationship, where do you start?
Well, you know, believe it or not, therapy with a qualified professional can actually, I like to call it identifying the opportunities to use your man card.
Right.
Okay? Because it really can. It can help you identify those things, take inventory, what isn't right, what needs to change, okay? But then joining with someone to say, okay, this is what we have to do to change it, to balance that leadership, to balance that sensitivity, okay? To truly be, okay, that gentleman, okay, with integrity, okay, right. That you want to be, okay, to be that role model. Right. And you know what? Sometimes, okay, relationships don't work out.
Right, I was just going to go into that too. Yeah.
Okay, sometimes they just don't. Okay, sometimes they are toxic.
Right.
Okay,
sometimes they're unhealthy.
Sometimes they're very unhealthy. Okay, and even sometimes just being able to come to a wholehearted realization. Right. Okay, that guess what? I need to change. This isn't going to be easy.
Right.
Okay, but there are proven strategies that work. There are proven strategies that keep you healthy.
Right.
Proven strategies that keep your family and children healthy.
Right.
Okay, and proven strategies that will help you maintain, okay, a positive relationship and civility throughout the whole process.
Right, because especially if kids are involved, you're going to end up with co-parenting down the road. You're going to end up with, you got to have a strategy for success and all that. Hate isn't a very good strategy. It's never going to work.
Absolutely not.
It's just going to create complexity for the future.
Sure. And it's amazing, but sometimes all it takes is a few sessions, okay, for you to be able to reconnect with those things that truly do matter.
Right.
The things that make you,
right.
Okay?
Right.
And the things that have worked for you in the past, okay? And the things that you have to kind of, maybe rediscover, okay? Or those things that evolve just a little bit as we age, as we get older, and as we have new life experiences.
Well, because as we go on, particularly in relationships, you would want that people change, right? Like,
I hope so.
You want to both grow.
We're supposed to be constantly growing.
Right. And it always cracks me up when someone's like, well, that's not the person I married 20 years ago.
Right.
Well,
that's right.
Should they be? It's...
No, and what I would tell you is look in the mirror.
Right, because you're definitely not the person. I mean, I had hair back then,
So at the end of the day, when it comes to that, you know what? Guess what, guys? Okay, you are a role model. Okay, right. Whether you want to be or not. Remember that old Charles Barkley commercial?
Right.
Well, guess what? I respectfully disagree.
You're dating yourself now.
you are a role model, and there is no shame, and there should be no reservation or hesitation to help yourself.
Right.
To help your relationship.
Right.
To help your family.
It's actually the bigger move.
Absolutely.
You want to be more bold.
Absolutely.
You want to be bigger. You want to really enact that man card. Get the help you need.
Absolutely. And that's why we're here.
All right. And if you can use some help, or if you're watching this and you think your relationship could use some help, whether you're a man or woman or what, doesn't matter. Give us a call, 813-434-3639. And you guys have a great week.